Hey guys, how you doing? Now this customer, they want a nice lawn. Every single year this lawn suffers badly with red thread, and it's very sandy soil. It just drains through like mad. So we've increased what we're doing at this lawn this year to try and get a top side of things. We're scarifying this lawn 2 or 3 times through the year instead of just once. So we're increasing that to reduce thatch, which can encourage red thread. Once a month through summer, we're putting a wetting agent on my emerald green. So we're applying it in bits and bobs. I'm not applying it on the whole lawn yet because it'll just evaporate. So I'm doing it in stages, just applying the wetting agent, watering it in, and then moving on to the next bit. And then after this, I'm going to get a treatment on, just fertilizer and weed killer. But this, believe it or not, is actually considerably better than it has been. We came a month ago, maybe no, more like 6 weeks ago, and we put emerald green on, we put a fungicide on, and we put a treatment on. So we put the fungicide on here a few days ago, and we've come back again now, and we're putting the wetting agent on, then the treatment, and we'll continue this again in a month's time, and then we'll be coming to scarify and aerate later into autumn. The idea is to minimise the chances of red thread, getting a fungicide on to stop the red thread from coming before it even becomes a problem, and holding water around the roots. Really important when it's very hot. It just dries out, and if you're on sandy soil, it just goes absolutely stupid. So I'm working across in stages. I'm just going to spray a few more strips now, and then we'll move the hose pipe across. If you've got any questions about anything, now's the time, pop them in, and I'll keep coming back and checking. How are you doing? let me just show you one of the neighbours' lawns. They might not appreciate it, but you can just see how brown things are. I can't film it, but yeah, that's what it was looking like, and it was struggling. Still got this bit to do and all that section up there. So what you saw me doing first with the hose pipe, manually just giving it a quick wash, just to wash it off the leaf so that it gets into the ground, because it will evaporate. That sprinkler will not do all this area in one go. So I'm doing that half, and then I'll bring it down here so it comes down to this bit. Right, any questions? Let me have a little look. None. Okay, fine. People don't feel like talking today, that's absolutely fine. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying this weather. I know at the moment there's no hosepipe bans in a lot of areas, although there's a chance of it coming. The purpose of a wetting agent means you don't have to water as much, so it's all about getting a wetting agent on and in, giving it a really good watering in, and then get away with watering it just once or twice a week as opposed to doing it more often. You don't need to water as much. That's the beauty of a wetting agent. It will hold water around the roots so the grass can make use of it and it doesn't drain away. When it's really hot, you might have to apply it every 2 to 3 weeks, but in general it'll last about 4, 5, 6 weeks. So I'm just working my way across. I'm just conscious about getting every area that I've sprayed. I'm just going to bring it down here now. It's all good. So yeah, we've been coming here for 2 or 3 years now, and the first year was good. It made a big improvement, but then, you know, once you start treating the lawn, it develops thatch quicker because you're feeding it, so it goes through its reproductive cycles faster, which means you've got to get on top of scarifying. So the second year wasn't quite as good, and we had a lot of issues with red thread. That is why this year we're doing a lot more scarifying and aerating, so it drains better, so it hasn't got as much thatch, and thatch holds on to moisture, and moisture in thatch when it's hot and humid is like when you've got athlete's foot. It's hot and sticky between your toes, and what will happen, it's you know, when you get athlete's foot, like I say, hot and sticky and sweaty, it's the same in your lawn. Right, let's have a look. Questions. Right here. Who's that? Danny. Hi, I've been following your channel because of your guides, etc. Confidence to start my own business. Can you just in quoting for this kind of work? I have to be careful, Danny. I don't want to give away our particular pricing structure because it's unique to our business and it has took a long time for us to develop. And I totally get what you're saying and where you're coming from. When you're starting a business in this, you don't know what to charge people. I will let you know that our starting price is £15 a treatment. You can put them on direct debits, which is, I don't know, £6 something a month, something like that. And we use Go Cardless, and it's been good. It has been good. £15 generally for us is up to 30 square meters, and then it goes up and up and up. Something like this, I don't know, roughly 40 quid a treatment, something like that. And then when we apply extra products, you've got to factor in what it costs you, whether you charge the same price as a normal treatment or whether you charge a bit more. But it will come to you in time. Once you get into it, you'll make a few mistakes as you go, and we did. And we had to learn all this ourselves. But we've come good, you know. We started off and with prices what we thought were fair and reasonable. And then as time went on, we thought, well, these could do with being a bit more. and we just generally increase things a bit until we've got to sort of a happy state. But yeah, quoting, you'll need a measuring wheel, and you'll need your price guide, what you've already worked out per square metre. And then you just go along, measure up. You need to look at what sort of weeds they've got, thatch levels, so you can identify what needs to be done to the lawn to make it a better lawn. Yeah, you can put treatments on and make it greener, but at some point, will it need scarifying? Will it need aerating? Is it on clay soil? Is it in the shade? Has it got problems with grubs, fungus, ants? There's quite a bit to come across. Right, anything else? Live chat. What's that? Krell. I'm so sorry. It's really hard to see this because it's so bright. How often would you apply wetting agents? Would it frequency differ with turf solve rather than a dedicated wetting agent? Yeah, turf solve is slightly different. It's the ingredients in turf solve are different to what's in this. This is emerald green. A wetting agent is designed to help water get into the ground. There's a couple of different types of wetting agent. One breaks down the surface tension, especially when you've got hydrophobic soil, when it's crusty on the surface. You put a blob of water on and it just doesn't soak in. Bear with me a sec. And then other wetting agents will hold water around the roots. So, yeah. Turf Solve. Well, Turf Solve's not my product. It's Global BioClean in the US or Canada or somewhere overseas. They developed it by chance when they were trying to create something else. And they've had it developed, and it does help with plant stress, similar to my emerald green. That needs moving to the left a bit. Yeah, Turf Solve's supposed to be good for grubs, and just help them restore plant health. So some of the things in my product, the emerald green wetting agent, has got stuff in there which helps the plant health. It's part of my little secret recipe. But Turf Solve is there for plant health, and it helps to control grubs. Yeah. What else? Paul, any thoughts on the new Honda Izzy? Do you know what? I am not clued up on all the different mowers. I'm aware of Honda Izzy's. Great engines, great mowers. Over the years have been fantastic. I couldn't tell you what the new one's like. I generally don't get into it too much. And I probably should, but I just don't. Anyway, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pop some more on. We'll get it moving across, else I'll be here all day. Beautiful property, this. Lovely people. So just give me a few minutes. Right, let's have a look. The Owen version, there is a new battery powered mower, same deck design. It's not the normal petrol. Yeah, I mean, everything seems to be going electric. I'm warming to the idea. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know what to say, whether it's the best idea long term. I mean, everything I've got's electric. I don't own it. Petrol, shall we say. Nothing I own at the moment is electric. I'd like to try some mowers, yeah, scarifiers, etc. Strimmers, blowers, whatever there is. So you can see where it's had the drought stress. This looked really good about 6 weeks ago, once we'd put the last emerald green on wetting agent. And then we had those 2 days of really hot weather, and we should have got another one on just prior to that, but we didn't have the resources and the time. So we're here now, trying to get something down and in before this next heat wave kicks in. In general, like I say, it's done a lot better. There's obviously dog wee burns all over. They've got a little doggy. But yeah, don't know where to put you guys. Keep checking the comments, Sean. At the end of season scarifying, should it be more a gentle once over or a deep to the soil job? Depends. You want to be getting enough out, so I always try and scratch the surface of the soil. Now if it's done regular, you can scratch the surface of the soil and only a little bit will come out. But if it hasn't been done for a long time, then you scratch the surface of the soil and a lot will come out, and there's always the chance that there's more thatch leading to moss, and then that will leave with bare patches, so then you need to sort of seed as well. So it all depends. Like I say, I always try and get down to just scratching the blades into the surface of the soil. Right, so I've got a little bit up there now to finish off, and I'm going to get some fertiliser and weed killer on. When the grass is healthy, it can take whatever you want to throw at it. Yeah, scarifying, aerating, seeding, top dressing, even in summer. You can do all of that in summer. But remember, with things like scarifying, it will add stress to the lawn. But if you are looking after your lawn, you will need to water a lot once you have done a scarify, if it's in summer. Watering will bring a lawn back. I can remember, well, 22 years ago, working for another company, which I'll not name, and a lawn was taken back to bare soil, or it looked like bare soil. Now the company was known for being quite aggressive and leaving things looking rough, but the customer was advised to water every single day heavily, and you know what, it all came back. I'm just going to chuck a bit more water over there. It's just not quite getting that corner properly. Okay, I've just got this last bit to do, and then we can get the treatment on, and then I can go and get the rest of my 14 jobs done today. Not that many on today, but this one I knew would be here for an hour or so because of the watering in. So I'm going to start spraying all of this. I'll do it in two pieces. I'll do one half and then the other half. So I will be back for any questions in a few minutes. A sprinkler. Yeah, I know. I know. We're putting this on to water this product in, and then it's up to the customer how often he waters. That's his. That's for him to decide on his conscience. But this will hold water around the roots, so he doesn't have to water as often, and hopefully stop the lawn from suffering too much. What weed killer do you use? Hiya, Dave. Right, I don't share details of the ones I use commercially in the business because, how can I say, it's a competition thing, isn't it? You don't want, unfortunately, there's a lot of nice people who watch this channel, but you also get people who could live locally to me who want to be a competitor of mine. The last thing I want to do is give everybody the full details of how we run our business. I actually want to give you guys as much knowledge as possible. This is why I purchase products from Amazon to use on my own lawn. And I'm trying to think of the one I use. We did a bit Weedol. And do you know what? It was actually really good. It's been down, what, 3 months? Or 2 months, that Weedol. I've not had a single weed since, and I'm really impressed with it. It actually seems at the moment to be performing better than the commercial stuff. But I don't want to sort of jinx that and say, you know, right, anymore. Bruce just logged in. If we can't water due to hosepipe bans, how best can we protect the lawn? Right, Bruce, so there's a couple of things you can do. If you've got a ban now, the only thing you can do really is use water that you use when you're washing your pots. Hear me out. You can use water from your bath, you can use water from your shower. And I know this is extreme, and a lot of people will just laugh and say, whatever, it'll come back. And it will. Most of the time it'll come back. In 2018 though, it was an issue and a few lawns did die. So if you can just get a bit of water on, once a week or once every couple of weeks, will stop it from dying off like it did in 2018. You can use the bowl from when you've washed your pots, and you can pour that over your lawn or into your watering can. Okay, it's great, and it's got washing up liquid in, which acts like a wetting agent, and it will help the lawn, I promise you. Same for your bath. Instead of pulling plug, get a couple of buckets and go and get it in your watering can. And with your shower, if you're happy to get a bucket in the shower with you, I appreciate these. A lot of people will just laugh at these ideas, but I assure you it works. So it's one way to get at least some water on to stop it from getting too bad. If you're not in a hosepipe ban and you're happy to put a bit of water on, then get a bit of water on. Try and do it mornings as opposed to evenings, and whatever you can get on is going to help. Even if it goes brown, the fact that you've put some water on will stop it from getting too extreme to the point where it doesn't come back. So you could also put a wetting agent on, you could put a wetting agent on the lawn, and a wetting agent will hold water around the roots. This is Emerald Green, which is my own product, a wetting agent plus a number of other products, and it acts like a glue around the roots. So you have to water it in, and then any further water you give it sits around the roots, so it's not draining through. And because it's there at the roots, the grass absolutely loves it. And if you were to water heavy after applying it, within 5 days your lawn's pretty much come back. We always say give it a couple of weeks, but it's any wetting agent will help. You don't have to have my Emerald Green, but any wetting agent will help. You can buy them on Amazon, eBay, wherever. Right, just need to get a bit more on that bottom bit. I have known, I heard about a guy who he connected all the pipes up from his shower and his bath, and they went into his water butt or something. He might have had a second water butt, but what a great idea. And that's reusing all the same water. I tell you, you could probably fill half a dozen water butts like that, especially if it's quite soapy, and pop it on your lawn. Just make sure it covers every single bit. Yeah, I can see spots down here. But we've got good coverage now. Is it covering all down here? Yes. Right, that's good. So, just give that a few more minutes, and everything's had a good 5, possibly 10 minutes in most areas. And that's the key, just a good watering in, and then any further water you give it will keep it happy. And if you water heavily for about a week, most of your lawn will come back. Right, any questions? Have a look. Hello from New Jersey. Hello, how are you? Bruce, thank you, no problem. Mad Angel, scarified my garden mid-June, reseeded, come back great. Now it's mostly new. Should I wait till spring for the first scarify, or is there a late autumn one fine? So June, July, August, September, October, November. You probably will be absolutely fine to leave it. It'll only be, what, 4 or 5 months, really. So I think you'll be absolutely fine. Just keep an eye on it. You can always give it the lightest of tickles if you think it'll take it. If it's well established and it's looking, if it's getting a little bit brown and it's well established, you can give it a light tickle. But if it looks perfectly happy, leave it be. And if you need to, just put the fork in and just give it a bit of an aeration. Or get yourself one of the manual aerators. J&J store, they do one which is good. I have some others, some more expensive ones sat in my garage, which I'm going to be testing very shortly in a bit of a battle of the aerator tools, the manual aerator tools. And I know for a fact there's a couple cheap ones like the J&J. There's also the Walensee one off Amazon, and both are really good and very similar. At the moment I like the J&J more because of the one-to-one support, but the Walensee off Amazon also has really good reviews, so I'm not going to discount it at all. and I'm going to be comparing them so I can let you know exactly what they're like. Anyway, I'm rabbiting on. So I'll just go and take these things back to my van, and then I'll come back with some fertiliser. Right guys, I want to show you something. Customer's got this Gardener AquaZoom. He says it's better than that hose lock, and I beg to differ. He said he's got a hose lock and it's not as good as this. So you can see, right, it's reaching that left hand edge, and let's see how far it comes out. Hang on, let's open it right up there. You can see how far it's reaching there. So that is nearly in line. It's quite a way actually. I think the wind's blowing it a little bit, but you can see it's pretty much almost touching that purple, what's it called? My brain's gone. Anyway, now we're going to swap them over. See, you get the right one and it'll speed things up. You notice straight away it's not as high. It's not as high at all. I mean, probably covering a similar length, although earlier it wasn't. I don't think it's got the same power, and it ain't fully going to the edge of the lawn there, whereas the previous one is easily going over and onto the pavers, and it's nowhere near as high. So I think the holes must be bigger, so it doesn't have the same sort of pressure. But no, I mean, here it's only coming out to about there, so that will take longer to do the whole lawn. Anyway, so yeah, get yourself a hose lock, in my opinion. Cheap and cheerful, does the job. So it's time for me to get some fertiliser on. I use an organic chicken manure based fertiliser from my supplier. I use A1 spring summer fertiliser on my own lawn. Any questions? Right, so I'm going to pop this on now. Let's get that switched off. I wear this all the time now. It's brilliant. I got here at 11 o'clock, so I've been here well over an hour just applying it and watering it in. If you're running a business, you've got to factor that in. You've got to think, how long will a job take me? How much do I need to make per hour? So there's not just you. If other people are in the business, you've got to think how much you need to make in total. You've got to think of all the overheads. The van. So you need a van. You're either buying it or you've bought it. So you're paying for that, you're paying for insurance, you're paying for fuel, you're paying for maintenance issues, any sudden repairs. You need to be putting money into your hourly rate to cover all of these. Then you've got business insurance. You need business insurance, public liability insurance. Then you need to account for holidays. You want time off, you want to be able to go away. So you need to be able to have a little bit extra that builds up over the year to cover you for 2 or 3 weeks. You know, Christmas, things like that. Suddenly, if you're doing £10 an hour and you get to Christmas and you're not working for 4 weeks, you're going to be in trouble. Right, let's get this on. I should be done in about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to get this applied now, and then I've got to crack on and get all my other jobs done. And keep my hat on. Keep well hydrated today. Look after your lawns, guys. Don't cut them too short. If possible, it will provide a bit of shade, and it does help. If your lawn is cut really short, then you do need to keep up with the watering, and any thatch will show up. So that is why you've got to scarify more frequently. Okay, I'm just going to go and grab my weed killer. I don't want you to feel lonely. So you'll see me coming out of there. Mad Angel, cheers, you're welcome. Put you over here for 5 minutes. Right, there we go. So that is it. So let me turn this camera around. Oh. How are you doing? Sweaty, hot. Right guys, so that is it. I like doing these live videos. It's interesting, and it's so much easier than just doing a video and editing it, because this is as it is. Let me just have a quick look. LTM. Thanks. Yeah, it's going to be a warm one. Krell. God, the sun's bright. Unless my eyes are going. Just interested what you would say is a good height of cut for these conditions. You say not too short. At the end of the day, lawns are going to go brown if there's not enough water, and that's all there is to it. If they don't get enough water, then if you increase the height, it provides a bit of shade, and that shade does actually cool down the ground a few degrees. So it is entirely up to you. It is a very delicate act, but in general, if you leave it a bit higher, it will just help a little bit. You still got to try and get some water on the ground. This is if you're trying to keep that perfect green. Right guys, that is it. I've got much more to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done 3 or 4. I was late coming out this morning. So yeah, I've got about 10 or 11 left. So I'm gonna clock off and I'm gonna go and get some work done. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Yeah, as usual, I'm here. Feel free to comment on any of my videos, and I will always do my best to answer. Speak to you soon.